Hello, I have finally mustered the strength and the energy to get my house tidy and get my life back together. I am going to be, there's someone, he heard my voice and he came. We have a new family member. You wanna come and show yourself? He's run off. He's called Chip. Come on, Chip. Little cocker spaniel. Come on, Chip, let's show everyone yourself. Come. Yeah, so we've got a new addition to the family. Chip, he heard my voice and he wanted to know what was going on. Very, very nosy little guy. Chip, look at him. Very, very nosy. Anyway, I finally got the courage and the energy and the inner strength to clean my house. I have had my sister over. I've had all my siblings over. So we've been in hosting mode for since November. Since November. So my sister was the last one who arrived. My sister came with her kids. She's got 2 children under the age of 3, and well, actually, the son just turned 3 before they left. So yeah, we had to keep the house nice and safe for them. A lot of things had to be cleared out. Toys everywhere, things like put away from their reach, and we had to make the house very child friendly, if that makes sense. Even though we've got a child, but she's an older child. And then and this young guy here as well. We had to make the house a lot more friendly for them. So we've been training Chip, house training Chip, and we've had the little ones. But I need to get my house in order because I can't really function when the house is messy, you know. This guy here actually is going off to puppy school today, so they're going to come and pick him up eventually later on today. Yeah, let's just get cleaning, really. We just get cleaning, organizing, tidying, and make the house look a lot more presentable. What do you have to say? Does anybody have a cocker spaniel? They're so nosy, and his attention span is so funny. It's so short. It's got a very short attention span, and he loves to play. He's 4 months now. I can sit for hours just watching him because he's so funny and cute. having to hold on to the pots whilst driving so they don't like bump into each other and crack. That's the thing with terracotta pots. I really like the look of terracotta pots, and I saw them at a very good price. Like the smallest one was £2.99 and the largest one was £5. I just couldn't pass. They were on sale, half price, so I got 3 to add on to my collection. Knowing what I know now based on where we used to live, I wish I did things slightly differently and I spent less money, because where we used to live, we had a smaller garden and everything was just container pots. Container pots. They were all like, I had a mini container garden at the back of the house on the concrete part of the garden, and I spent quite a bit of money on annuals, and these were the things that I didn't know. So I guess it's part of the learning process with gardening. You learn what works and you know what doesn't work, and try not to repeat it again, because plants aren't very cheap unless you go down the seed route. So what I'll do is, if I ever want to plant annuals, I will make sure that I start from seed, because it's a lot cheaper. And the things that I am focusing on now are perennials. They're called perennials and hardy shrubs. Ooh, I don't know. And actually, what I've learned as well is that now the colder months now are kind of like an indication of the best plants to buy. So I've visited quite a few gardening shops or nurseries, garden centers, and I now know those plants that are the best. And I now know the plants that would be there even like in the winter, because I got this beautiful plant that reminded me of a banana tree, but when the weather got very cold, it died. It got disgusting actually when it was frosty, and I lost quite a few plants to the cold weather, to the extreme cold weather. So now I know the things that would last and the things that won't. And I was quite surprised that all my, what are they called? Hydrangeas. All my hydrangeas are like, they're proper sprouting. They've got like mini buds, which means that they're going to be there every year in, year out. So I'm going to put them in the ground, but I don't know what will be the best time to put them in the ground. What was that sound? Outside temperature alert is 3 degrees. It's quite cold today, but when the weather gets better, I would venture outside. I'm really excited. I mean, I shared this in my first video for the year, mentioning that I would gradually get back to making videos, because my interests are starting to grow. I'm starting to like different things, and gardening is one of those. I also want to do edible gardening as well as like decorative gardening, not just like flower gardening, but other plants. project. I am working with PVC and it's got some sort of plastic coating. So with this, I can't really pin the fabrics together. So I'm trying to like sew these two seams together. Like I need to fold this over and sew it, but I can't pin. So I'm going to use fabric clips. What are they called? Sewing clips or something like that. Luckily, I have a stash saved from the advent calendar that I got from Prim. So I'm going to use that to hold the edges. So if you're working with fabrics that leave holes, like when you stitch, use fabric clips. It's a mini stash and it's coming really handy. It's so hard working with a puppy in the house because I always have to stop and check on him just to find out what he's doing. Oh, okay, he went into his pen.
Welcome to the city, it's a turn on, get it all, get it baby, but don't say I love you. Welcome to the city. Welcome to the city.
This is what we're looking like so far. I've taken a few shots for the Instagram reel and I'm going to show you something that I picked up yesterday. Okay, so yesterday I found this machine on Facebook Marketplace. It's a very old machine. Now this machine is so old that I do not even know how to work the inner mechanism of this machine. And I really want to have a go at doing it. So the intention was to, it's so bright out here. The intention was to take this machine to school as one of our sewing club machines because we don't have enough machines for all the children to get sewing and it takes us ages to get our projects completed. So I found a machine on Facebook Marketplace, got it for £40. Luckily the lady doesn't live too far from where we are. So I picked it up yesterday and I need to figure out how to use the machine. I'm gonna keep looking on Facebook Marketplace to see if I would find any more machines that are under £60 so I can get at least one more. So during holidays I can bring them home, or I can bring one home so Olivia can use to do her sewing in her room. She's old enough now to sew by herself. At what age do you let a child to sew unsupervised? I think 10, isn't it? 10. I think she's old enough anyway. I'll show you what the machine really looks like. I will be visiting YouTube. I need to visit YouTube. Luckily, she actually gave me the manual. The lady said it was her grandmother's sewing machine and the lady couldn't really use it, so she's selling it off to anyone who would find it useful. These are the parts. That's the foot. Or the pedal, sorry, the pedal. I could tell that the person's grandmother printed their user guide in 2007. As you can see, they reused, they've recycled paper, so on the other side you can see like information, like other things that they've done, and then they printed the manual on the other side of the sheet. So it's quite nice to be part of a person's story, if that makes sense. Then it doesn't say how to put this back in the machine. You might be wondering why I've got a big smile on my face. It's because I figured out, okay, so I now have this on the inside and then that on the outside, and I figured out that I needed to turn this over, like put it, like turn this up that way to make sure it stays secure, and that's now secure. Now, next step is to figure out how to put this in. I must say, the manual doesn't really help me figure out that. I mean, this is the only picture, these two pictures are the only two pictures that give you an indication of what this inner mechanism is supposed to look like. And this is really hard to like, well, I don't know about you, but I found these two quite tricky to understand. So I'm having to do trial and error, and I think I figured that out. The proof will be in the pudding when I actually start stitching. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to change the needle and stitch it using some scrap fabric that I have here. I actually like this challenge. This is the machine again. It looks very old. Yeah. Brush, like a paintbrush. I'm gonna clean it out because there's a bit of dust in there. I mean, it's old, isn't it? So oh, now I need to figure out how to thread it from the top. Oh, okay. I think it's this one here. Is it this one here? Don't know. I've got to read it. You see, that's the thing with old machines. They didn't really have like numbers and pointing in what direction of how to thread the machine. So, okay. I'm just gonna add some tensions. Yay! Actually did thread it properly. Like the bobbin is done properly. Yay, 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 yay. Okay, here. Do a test stitch. Oh, this machine actually doesn't have any markings on the groove. Oh my god. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. There aren't any markings on the plate to show like measurements. Actually, it's a very, very old machine. Okay, well, we will work with it. What I'll do is I'll apply some washi tape on the base to guide the children and let them know how much like the seam allowance would be. Okay, so we need a straight stitch, which is very loud. Very loud. Not too bad. Actually not too bad. But I am pleased that I learned how to use that type of bobbin case. It works. Bobbin case works. So it's quite tricky. There isn't any way to know if you're on the right marking, on the right stitch marking. So I've gone for 5, which oh, maybe I need 7 because that's the far end one. Okay, so I'm gonna move this to 7. Yeah, so I'm going for the top one, like the one at the top would be the stitch you need. I don't know if that makes sense. And I've gone for a stitch tension 4. I don't know what tension my one is, my other machine. So I'll leave this at 4. And this is the back stitch. I've gone for 3, stitch length 3, make it 4, no, 3.5. No, 3 is good actually. And I went for this thread position. And then I threaded it. I added a bit of tension by twisting this around. I think that's about it. It's a very, very basic machine, but it works. There actually isn't an on or off button. There isn't an off or button. Okay, so there's no button to switch it on or off. I'm just gonna pull this off to unplug it.
Welcome to the city. Welcome to the city. If you ain't find your thing yet, I got the address. In the nest of dreamers, place for the homeless. Oh, that thrill of the danger you feel with a stranger. Oh, standing on the border of chaos and order. it feels so good to take you off the pedestal. I don't know what I was thinking, let it be more.
Just taking a bit of a break from the hand stitching. Well, it's something called French tufting, if I'm right. So I'm doing it by hand, and I have created the biggest cushion out of both cushions that I'm supposed to send off for the magazine photo shoot. I would write out the instructions as soon as I'm done. Figuring out how to send this off is going to be an interesting challenge, but as soon as I'm done, I'll send it off because the photo shoot is happening next week. Yeah, I've enjoyed this project, and I look forward to doing more home kind of sewing projects or DIY projects. Please take this vlog as it is. I thought I would use this as my practice of getting back into creating videos. I hope it was okay and I hope it inspired you to make something, or I hope it inspired you to tidy up, or I hope it inspired you to get out there into the open and do something in your open space at the back of your house, or whatever, or your balcony, whatever it is. Yeah, I will have more videos coming up because I think I'm back in the swing of making or creating videos. Also, when the magazine is published, I will share it here on the channel and on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. It's been very fun, and I hope to see you in my very next one. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and all the very best. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, that's impressive. How much I'm missing. Feel the